Hey stars, it's me, Shard Star, and I'm back. I promised you guys once I started feeling better that I would be coming doing videos more often, and here I am. So I just did one yesterday, and actually today I'm going to start it off with an update. I know yesterday I told you guys about the severance package that President Trump offered to federal employees who don't want to return back to work, right? I'm actually drinking iced tea and lemonade just uptown, just regular. So he made an offer of what, 8 months, full pay for 8 months and full benefits till next September, if you resign by next Friday, February 6th. So, I mean, I thought that was a little weird. So I investigated a little. And I decided to investigate and find out. I'm sorry, people, outlets. Um, and investigate. And people, no one is saying they should be for it. Even a senator, Senator Tim Kaine, he ran for vice president back in 2016. He went to the Senate floor on Tuesday saying that this is absurd. He's saying to all the federal workers who are even considering taking this buyout from Trump, don't take it. Don't. And I investigated, I wanted to know why. So this is what I come up with. Okay. I also say don't take this severance package. Okay. Because what it does, it's going to lead us right into Project 25. Now, I know we said that we weren't going to be involved in all of that rigmarole, us like this. We weren't going to be involved in all of this, but we cannot bury our heads in the sand. Most of us, or some of us, we own property, we pay taxes, some of us own businesses. Things are going on. So we cannot completely bury our heads in the sand and act like it's not happening, point blank. So, with that being said, it leads into Project 25 because Project 25 wants to get rid of a certain amount of federal employees. And if he can get these employees to resign, then those would be open positions to fill with whomever he or they would like to fill those positions. And I'm not speaking of clerks and things like that. I'm speaking of career positions that run groups, that run departments, that run sections of the government. Okay. So if he can get people to resign, he can fill those spaces again with whomever they want to, which would not be good for us anyway. Okay. Um, Also, did you know that um, President Trump fired the government's attorneys that worked on the prosecution case against him? And just in case you don't understand what I'm saying, as a government, we have attorneys. We have government attorneys, right? Whomever a case come up against, they are going to work for the government, the prosecution, to prove their case. Well, the prosecution that was going against him when he was not president and was having all his convictions brought out, he fired the attorneys that worked on the prosecution. These are government attorneys. Now, if you are aware of Jack Smith, well, Jack Smith was the person heading the prosecution. And I know he knew once President Trump got in office, he was going to fire him anyway, so he resigned. But those that decided to stick it out, Mr. Trump fired them, just to let you know. So again, I think this is going to be, again, like I said before, a term of get back. This is just going to be the get back presidential 4 years term of get back, pretty much. Um, so yeah, so again, don't make it easy for them guys because the point is, if you take that payout or whatever it is, come February 6th, which is next Friday. Now imagine you work for the government 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You have until next Friday to decide if you want to take an 8 months of salary and 8 months of whatever it is, medical, dental, eye, health, whatever the health coverage is. Really? So, yeah. So, my suggestion and what I've read and what I've investigated is not worth it. It's worth you fighting it as long as you can. If he wants to take you out of service, and like he said originally, he was going to put you on a paid leave, so you're not working, but they're paying you. If he wants to do that, let him do that. Because what happens is, if people don't take this buyout, then they're going to have to start firing people. And when they do that, that's going to lead to litigation. Litigation is going to make it have to go to the Supreme Court. Get it? So it gives you more time, more time, more time. So my thing is, I'm agreeing, don't take it. I just think it's disrespectful to give someone or anyone a week to decide what I don't know. So with that said, we're going to we've been so big on the pardons that even the former president, you know um and now the pardons that President Trump is now giving. But we were so caught up into the pardon of the 1,500 that rioted at the Capitol, that do you apparently Mr. Trump pardoned two Washington, D.C. officers, right? I don't quite remember. A little bit I do, but I don't. And I'm going to be honest. So much was going on. Um, okay, give me a second. I want you to understand what I'm saying to you. What in the world? Okay, so apparently President Trump pardoned two Washington, D.C. officers convicted in fatal chase and cover up. The death of a young Black man, Karan Hilton Brown, led to days of protest back in 2020, not long after the murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officers. Okay? So we're so busy saying, oh, he let them go. And, I myself put out a challenge to any officers, probation, correction, police, whatever. When this man was running for office, you guys, the police was behind him in most places. How do you feel that he now, I have stated that he now has pardoned the police or the rioters that came to harm you and did unalive one of you? How do you feel about that? Or is it okay because he's trying to get you full immunity, which means you won't have to stand up and deal with anything that you do? And now I find out that he has pardoned the two police officers that was convicted in the fatal chase, murder, and cover up. Okay? So why would he pardon them? They were trying to, why would he? That's my thing. Why would he pardon them? Because they actually did try to cover up the murder and the chase. And okay, so President Trump issued full and unconditional pardons to two Washington, D.C. police officers convicted after a chase that killed a young Black man in 2020, an episode that led to days of protests and clashes in the nation's capital. Mr. Trump granted clemency to Officer Terrence Sutton of the Metropolitan Police Department, who was sentenced last year to more than 5 years in prison for second-degree murder, obstruction of justice, and unauthorized pursuit, which killed the man, the 20-year-old Karan Hilton Brown. Okay, now, Officer Sutton was the first Washington, D.C. police officer to be convicted of murder for actions on duty. Okay? The other pardon recipient, Lieutenant Andrew Zabowski, was sentenced to 4 years in prison, not directly for the killing of Mr. Hilton, but for the conspiracy to conspire with Mr. Sutton to cover up the deadly police chase that led to the two had been free pending an outcoming of their appeal. So now, issuing the pardon was not the first high profile act of clemency during Trump's first weekend in term. But now it's kind of like making you wonder, okay, so he pardons the 1,500 rioters that came there to the Capitol to harm the state police, and one was unalived, okay? How do you feel? But then now he's saying, but hold up, I'm trying to get you full immunity. Now, full immunity, now that's better than anything because now you ain't got to answer for nothing. You police yourself, okay? But then you find out, but wait a minute. He also freed two police officers that was just convicted. One was convicted of murder, second degree murder, obstruction of justice, and unauthorized pursuit. And the other was his thing was conspiring with Mr. Sutton, the other police officer, to cover up the deadly police chase. So it seems like it's all going to hell in a handbasket, to be honest with you. I'm being honest with you. That's how I feel about it. I don't know. But I mean, we were so busy of the other pardons, I didn't hear this one. And when I heard about it, I was determined to let you know about it. Okay? Now, a family of four goes on vacation. Okay, like many of us. Now, I want you guys to understand that we are about to be in vacation mode. I mean, I know that I'm actually taking a small trip with friends and family within the next few weeks. And then I'll take my first private vacation this year in a few more months. But nevertheless, these are things we need to be aware of, people. We are traveling. We also have children that are traveling, meaning we have children now that are 18 and 19 that are flying to Mexico on vacation and doing things, you know? They're even going abroad to Greece and different places. So we're really a traveling generation at this point. Okay. So I want you guys to be informed. Okay. So this happened in Dominican Republic. Mom and son died from food poisoning during dream vacation at Dominican resort. We were all throwing up, is what the dad said. Okay. So this is how it went. First of all, the family is from Canada. They flew to the Dominican Republic. Mother, father, one son 7 years old, the other son 8 years old. Okay? A family dream vacation turned tragic when a mother and her 8-year-old son died of food poisoning at a Dominican resort, according to the new $10 million lawsuit. Okay, the Gunjanin family, they traveled from Toronto, Canada to Viva Dominico Beach by Wyndham Resorts just after Christmas. Okay? And enjoyed a buffet dinner on their first night. This is their first night there arriving. They all were deathly ill. Well, the mom and the older son, the 8-year-old son, was worse than the dad and the 7-year-old son. And I don't know if that's because of what they ate or how much of it they ate, but whatever. The mom and older son was way worse than, and they all was really ill by 6 a.m. Okay, so they had dinner, buffet dinner the night before. By 6 a.m., they all were really sick and bringing it back up and everything else. Okay, so by 6 o'clock, they all were sick. The mom, April, and her son, Oliver, dying soon after being rushed to the hospital. Now, the story goes, they were the dad had and the younger son had let the resort aware that all four of them are sick, but the mom and the son is really bad. And they stated to the family that they needed to make their way over to the clinic, a medical building. Now, I have been on resorts that have medical buildings, so I'm sure it was still on the resort, but they needed them to get there. And they were stating that they really were in no condition to walk or to get over to this place, right? So time went on. The resort kept saying, "You guys have to get over there. You guys have to get over here." Now, this I just want to, sometimes having a visual on who you're talking about connects you a little more to the story, because remember, this story and the next story can happen to any one of us at any given time. Okay, so this is the mom and the son that passed away. Okay, so they were all throwing up. After a while, the family members finally got the resort to bring them wheelchairs. They brought them wheelchairs and they took them over to the medical building. They immediately rushed them to the hospital, where the mom and the son passed away. So this is happening to a family in another country other than their own, and not one person passing away, but two. So now there's a $10 million lawsuit against the resort for, first off, something about the food, because it was clearly food poisoning, and also not getting them to medical care in a reasonable time after they stated to you they were sick and whatever. So the other son had to beg. This is the 7-year-old son had to beg at the front desk for them to please get them wheelchairs, for them to even do that. So they did it. Like I said, this is the dad, okay? And this is the complete family of four. Mom, dad, one son 7, one son 8. Pray for them. I'm really going to stay up on this one because I know plenty of people, and I have gone to Dominican Republic, and I wish they would be a little more clear, but they can't do that. But wow, this can happen to any of us, guys. I have friends that just came back from Puerto Rico the other day. I have friends that's coming. We are a traveling generation. So I mean, clearly. My next story. This happens to be a 12-year-old girl, very pretty little girl. This happened over in London. So I'm just want to let you know location. So this happened in London. A 12-year-old girl was taken to a cafe by her aunt and her mom, I believe. And this is the young lady, um, very pretty. And this is the cafe. Okay. So her name is Mia Shea St. Hilaire. So we're gonna call her Mia Shea. Mia Shea um, drank a milkshake. I'm gonna read you the title, then I'll tell you the story. Girl 12 dies after drinking milkshake from unwashed blender at London cafe. Okay. So the story goes, Mia Shea was taken to this cafe by her aunt and her mom, and she ordered what she thought was a regular milkshake because she does have an allergy. She is, has a problem with nuts and things like that. Um, so allergic reaction, like I'm hearing people, I know that they have allergic reactions to nuts and stuff, but it's happening more. Places and businesses are being way more careless because if I'm not mistaken, I just told a story maybe a week or two about something else that happened with that. But nevertheless, she had the milkshake and had a fatal reaction. Um, and she apparently Mia Shea suffered a fatal allergy reaction to tree nuts left behind in an appliance at the Pop-In Cafe in Southeast London. Okay, this happened in August. And 5 days later, she passed away. Um, like I said, she passed away 5 days later after traces of hazelnut and almonds were found in the blender after being left behind from a previous drink. Cafe owner Boris Yoko was found on CCTV to have not properly cleaned the blender. He was fined 18,000 something. I don't know what the money thing is over there, but this was London, so that whatever the 18,000 is what he was fined, and he was given 100 hours of community order. The parents of the girl, name is Adrian and Chanel, said their daughter's death could have been easily prevented. Okay, so at first I was going to say, well, I can't wait to see how this end up, but I think it is ended because when I read he was fined 18,000, whatever that is, and was given 100 hours of community service, I think that someone's daughter is life is worth way more than that. But again, we have to remember, we're talking about London. We're not talking about here. Here, we sue for if someone steps on your foot. Because I mean, if this would have happened here in the States, we would have sued the cafe. We would have sued the cafe owner. We may have even sued the company that delivers the milk to the cafe and whoever made the blender. Okay, because we go in for a lawsuit. Just saying. So in London, this is what happened. So I don't know, but I pray for her. I mean, that's so sad, and she's so pretty, and even if she wasn't, nobody deserves to die from having a milkshake. A milkshake, people. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one, and you tell me what you think this is. Okay, now, um, the title of this one says Funeral Home finds multiple stab wounds on man's body, leading to an arrest for murder. Okay. Now, I want to apparently this is the person that did it. I'm sorry, this is the person that did it, and this was the man, Ray Neal, that the deceased. Okay, so the story goes like this. Let me take this off so I can explain it. Okay, so story goes like this. Um, this happened, first off, the story started in 2019, but the person was just arrested for the murder. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This happened in 2019, but the person was just arrested for the murder lately in the last year. Okay, so what happened is Ray Neal, 61, died in 2019 and was found by his sister in his home after he stopped answering phone calls. He was known to have several health issues leading up to his death, and his death was determined to be due to natural causes. Even after his sister and police said blood was found in several rooms of his house. When the funeral home director saw the body and he was getting the body ready to transport him, he saw what he believed were several stab wounds on Neil's neck. Okay? So, this is what the problem is. The problem is the girl and the police arrive to the house to do a wellness check. They come in, they find the man deceased. Okay. But they also acknowledge to one another first that there's blood in every room of this house. Okay. Boom. So then the coroner comes because he has to pronounce you dead and give a time or whatever. They tell him, report to the coroner, there's blood in different places of this house. Boom. Can't explain it. The coroner halfway does his job or whatever the case. We'll get back to that in a minute. He puts it down, the time of death, and pronounces him deceased of natural causes. Now, the funeral home is called to come in now that you are pronounced dead for whatever. Now, the funeral home can come get you to transport you to the funeral home. So the funeral home comes. As they're preparing the body, they realize that there's stab wounds on the deceased's neck, maybe making sense of the blood found in different rooms. Don't know, don't understand. Okay. But again, that made them deal with the police and have them do an investigation because they found stab wounds and the death certificate states natural causes. The sister and the police acknowledged that there were blood in every room of the house. So the person that we need to be looking at is what? The coroner. Why did he not notice there were stab wounds on a person's neck? Why did he not notice and realize because there were blood in different rooms of the house that this was not a natural cause of death? This was a murder? Okay, so that's what happened. So now, because the funeral home, hence the title, once they made an investigation happen because no one had picked up on the stab wounds but them. And nobody cared that there was blood all over in every room of the house. So now someone has been arrested. I believe that's Carmen Hunt. I believe. Um, Allegedly, I just thought that this was an interesting story because it went on for years, and no, they were going to just take that man. He was murdered. Someone almost got away with complete murder only because why? What happened to the coroner? Why did the coroner not know that? Why did they not acknowledge the sister and the police telling them about blood being in different parts of the house? Then why did he not see stab wounds in his in the person's neck when the funeral home did? You're the coroner. You should be at that point. You should be more technical than the funeral home at that point. They're just going to fix up whatever has been done to make it all pretty. You know, you the coroner. You're supposed to do whatever. So I don't know, people. I just thought it was interesting and I brought it to you. Now, I don't know how many of you remember soap operas from back in the day, like General Hospital and Days of Our Life and One Life to Live and Search for Tomorrow, The Edge of Night. Like, I remember them. I do. And I remember they were a big thing back in the 80s and maybe early 90s. So everybody knew soap operas. Well, I know that they have a soap opera channel now, but I'm not even aware if soap operas come on. I don't think so. I just think like talk shows come on all the time and game shows. But then, nevertheless, there's a new show coming out called Beyond the Gates. It's the new and upcoming American television soap opera, right? It will begin broadcasting on CBS on February 24th, 2025, as part of their daytime programming block. Okay, so this is going to be on Channel 2 during the day. This is the groundbreaking soap opera, and it's the first hour-long daytime drama centered on a Black family. And it's the newest soap opera in what, 20 to 25 years, something like that. So it's surrounding these three, I believe, I haven't seen it, but I believe these three very wealthy Black African American families. And I'm going to show you what the cast looks like. I'm familiar with one or two of them, and there's some other people that you will be familiar with once it comes on. But nevertheless, I personally think I'm going to give it a chance. I think that I'm going to set and record it for the first week and then binge watch it on Saturday or Sunday and see what I think of it. I mean, we always giving something else a chance. How about giving ourselves a chance for it? I mean, it's going to be a long four years. Maybe we can find something that can stick around and maybe keep our interest. I don't know. But this is what the cast looked like. It's an all Black cast. I'm actually familiar with him in the blue shirt, seen him places. I think her, definitely her. So, okay, so the top family, they're the Hamiltons. Okay. Then these four, these are the Richardsons. They came up with the Black names, didn't they? Okay. And then these two are the Thomases. Now I'm seeing that this is a mother-daughter or maybe a stepmother and daughter, not knowing what that's about, but it looks interesting. It looks like it's going to be starting something. Okay, so I want to give it a chance. So again, um, Beyond the Gates is what it's called, and it starts again in February. So I will give it a chance. Again, February 24th, 2025. I'm going to give it a chance, okay? And guess what? I'm not being throwing shade and I'm not being extra. But seriously speaking, I don't fly Spirit. I've never thought about flying Spirit. But however, if something happens where I need to be somewhere and be there fast, and that's all that I can get that can get me there fast, I don't know. I may have to jump on board and see what that thing do. I don't know. But on a regular given day, I'm not into it because I've stated in other videos every day, especially if we commute to work or the office back and forth, and anywhere, we put our lives in other people's hands way too often than I'd like to acknowledge. Meaning, I stated if you take the train, there's a conductor, there's someone else. If you're riding the bus, there's a bus driver. Your hands is in their life. If you're, as we saw from the other day, if you're flying in a plane and the pilot, remember the pilot tried to fly drunk the other day. So this is what happens, right? So guess what? Spirit is now implementing stricter dress code, bans offensive tattoos, and more. I just want you to see it. Spirit. I mean, my thing is, look, if you are selling tickets, no shade. If you're selling tickets at $29 and $39 or $49 or $59, right? Um, that's kind of the crowd you're gonna get. I'm not being funny. I'm not saying them people don't cherish their lives, but I am not willing to putting my life in other people's hands at so many other times of every day. When I'm flying where there's no chance of survival if something happens, I'm not willing to give my safety and my security to Spirit. I'm a Frontier. I'm not. Now, again, like I say, if something happens and I have to be someplace at that time and they're the only ones going to get me there, I have to make that decision. But at this point, that's not a decision that I'm willing to deal with. But yeah, they want a stricter dress code now. They're going they no more pasties. Like people are really coming on. Well, yeah, $29 ticket, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm used to wearing sweats to work. I mean, to the airport with the clear and the pre-boarding and all the things that we have. I don't. I wear sweats, something comfortable, something. If I'm going somewhere and the temperature's different, tropical, I can take the top off and tie it around my waist, whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't know, but these people with the booty shorts, they don't want that anymore. They stated that um inadequate clothes or sporting tattoos. That's the thing too. They're targeting tattoos, people with tattoos. If your tattoos are lewd or obscene or any type of offensive in nature, your tattoo. If it says a curse word or whatever, they can deny you. They're not allowing you on their plane. So just because you paid your little $39 ticket, but $99 for your bag, I said it. Um, yeah, they are now putting. They said that they don't want to see anyone's. They said it now prohibits the exposure of breasts, buttocks, and other private parts. So that means no poom poom shorts. They don't want to see your butts coming out the cheeks, breast, all these low cut blouses, or just. I just can't believe people would actually travel like that. But okay, no pasties. Like you have to actually tell people that grown people that old enough to fly by themselves that they shouldn't have on a pasty on a flight. And a pasty, I mean a see-through blouse with just pasties on your nipples. Really, that's how you flying. There's children in the airport. Um, yeah, just want to let you know. So you know they are getting a more serious dress code. They're not playing with you. They're not. Again, they're not. They will deny you boarding. They will remove you from the flight. If you are wearing anything see-through, exposed private areas, lewd tattoos, or offensive odors. Now, I do remember, I think a couple of months ago, I did a story where they kicked some African American men off of a flight because they said they smelled funny. Um, so now that's the thing, offensive odors. And I find that weird. I mean, we know what doesn't smell good, but um, I don't know. I don't know how to do. Listen, I don't plan to have to even be on Spirit, so I don't really care. I just thought you guys would want to know, and I wanted to let you know. If those that do fly Spirit and Frontier, you just can't show up any kind of way that you was. I guess now. I mean, like I said, no more pasties. Listen, I want you guys to be informed. I want you guys to, you know, I'm not here to tell you guys what to do. I'm here to just tell you stories and tell you and give you my perspective. And I'm drinking iced tea and lemonade today, mixture, Uptown. I really, really like it. No alcohol, just I wish you could see the ball of ice. There are these ice balls that you just put in. Use it for scotch and drinks that you drink straight, and it just slowly melts. Really good. So I love you guys. I want you guys to remember to enjoy the remainder of your week. I want you guys to be intentional. I'm starting to hear more and more people with pages in the last week speak of being intentional. And my thing was, we have a choice. And sometimes, like with this presidency and different things that's going on, it seems like we don't have control over anything, but we do have control over ourselves on how we react to things, if we're willing to accept something or not accept it. We have choices. So again, be intentional about who you love, who loves you, who's in your space, energy, all those things. I love you guys. Hope to see you soon and enjoy the remainder of your week.